Tell me something. Are you tired of tiptoeing around a difficult team member? Well, guess what? You're not alone. Managing difficult employees can be one of the toughest parts of leadership, but understanding the reasons behind certain behaviors can make a huge difference. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 common types of challenging employee behaviors, explain why they happen, and offer you solutions for each one, so that you can learn to manage them better. Now stay with me until the end of this video, where we'll reveal the most disruptive type of employee out there, and I'll show you exactly how to handle them effectively. Can you guess what type I'm talking about? Before we start, if you don't know who I am Sharif Razik, and I've spent over 15 years leading high-performing teams, achieving consistent annual revenue growth year on year, and I have also coached and mentored hundreds of leaders around the world on how to build and nurture high-performing teams. So let's dive in. Our first type is the passive-aggressive resistor. This employee appears cooperative on the surface but subtly resists tasks or changes. They might delay work, make sarcastic comments, or subtly undermine team initiatives. So, passive-aggressive behavior often stems from a fear of direct conflict or a sense of resentment. They may feel they're not being heard or they lack control over their work, so they resort to indirect ways of expressing dissatisfaction. So how can you manage this? Well, first, begin by creating a safe space for an open discussion. Schedule a one-to-one meeting in a neutral, comfortable setting, ideally outside the immediate workspace if possible. Start the conversation by acknowledging their contribution and emphasizing that you are there to support them. Use non-confrontational language, like, "I've noticed a few tasks have been delayed recently, and I want to understand if there's anything I can do to help or make things smoother." This approach invites them to share openly, as it focuses on understanding their needs rather than immediately pointing out a problem. Allow them to express any frustrations and actively listen without interrupting. You can encourage them by asking, things like, "Are there any changes you think might help you be more effective in your role?" By framing it this way, they may feel less defensive and more likely to share their genuine concerns. Now, if they resist this, set specific expectations, right? And document your conversations. You could say things like, "We agreed on completing this task by a specific date. Moving forward, I'll need you to communicate any delays in advance." Being firm and clear in your tone, this approach will really help you clarify expectations and emphasize accountability. The second type is the chronic complainer. This employee regularly focuses on problems or faults without suggesting solutions, which can drain team morale. They're often vocal about their dissatisfaction, which may impact other members of the team negatively. So chronic complainers often feel frustrated or powerless to change things, so they focus on pointing out flaws instead. They might lack confidence or feel undervalued, which can make them more focused on negative aspects. So here's how to approach it. During a calm, private conversation, start by acknowledging their concerns in a way that shows you're listening and value their input. For instance, you could say, "I know you care about the quality of your work, and I appreciate your attention to detail." This helps them feel heard and reduces the likelihood of them being defensive. Then, gently shift the conversation towards solutions by saying, "Since you're so observant, I'd love to hear your ideas on how we could address some of these issues." Okay, so this way you encourage them to share at least one suggestion for each concern that they raise. If they seem reluctant, prompt them by saying, "If you could make one change, what would that be?" Or, "What's one thing that you think would improve the situation?" So, when you steer the conversation towards a solution, you're showing that you respect their viewpoint, but want to make it constructive. This helps them feel more empowered and more positive. If they continue to complain without contributing solutions, establish a structure for feedback. For example, require them to bring one proposed solution for each issue they raise. Say, "In our check-ins, I'd like you to focus on solutions along with concerns. So for each issue, let's brainstorm one possible solution together." This helps foster a problem-solving mindset. Now, let's talk about the know-it-all. This employee frequently challenges others' ideas, believes they know everything, right? They know it all, and may have difficulty accepting feedback. They can come across as dismissive, which may discourage team collaboration. So what is going on here? Their behavior often arises from insecurity masked as overconfidence. They might fear appearing weak or believe their expertise is not fully recognized, so they feel the need to assert their knowledge to maintain control or status. So how can you manage this type of employee? Well, begin by acknowledging their knowledge and contributions, which can make them feel valued. For example, say, I can see you have a lot of expertise in this area, and I appreciate your insights. Once they feel recognized, gently introduce the idea of collaboration by adding, I think the team can benefit even more if we combine everyone's perspectives. Would you be open to hearing other ideas so we can build on your expertise together? If they continue to dominate, try using a structured approach during meetings, where each team member has an equal opportunity to share. You might say, I'd like each person to share one idea, and then we'll discuss. This allows their input while ensuring others feel included as well. Additionally, you can encourage them to listen actively by directly asking for their thoughts on a teammate's suggestion. This approach helps them see that their input is valued while fostering a more inclusive environment. If you still get pushback and you feel that they're still monopolizing discussions, assign them a mentoring role where they're responsible for helping others develop their skills. Explain that this role requires them to support others' growth, which may shift their focus from self-assertion to collaboration. This can channel their confidence into a constructive role within the team. Next is the slacker. This employee often underperforms, misses deadlines, or seems disengaged, which can place additional pressure on you and on their teammates. They also may seem indifferent or lack motivation. This behavior often stems from disengagement, burnout, or a lack of connection to the work they're doing. They may feel unmotivated if they don't see the purpose of their tasks or if they feel overlooked in the team. So begin with a supportive one-on-one conversation to address any challenges they might be facing. Start by expressing your observation in a neutral tone, like, I've noticed that you've been struggling to meet deadlines recently, and I wanted to check in to see if there's anything that might be affecting your performance, and ask how you can support them better. Listen carefully to their response, and if they bring up any personal or work-related challenges, discuss potential solutions together. If they seem unmotivated, then ask open-ended questions. This will help you explore what aspects of their role they do find engaging. For example, you can ask something like, are there any tasks that you feel particularly motivated by? Or is there any areas where you would like more support? If they need assistance, then you offer them the resources that they need or the training that they might require. Then set small achievable goals to help them get back on track. Say something like, let's start with this project and check in on your progress next week. And I'll be here to support you as needed. If their performance doesn't improve, consider looking at role suitability, and if a different role within the organization would fit them more. Otherwise, you have to consider implementing a performance improvement plan with clear goals and timelines. Explain to them that sustained improvement is necessary for their role and outline specific steps to achieve these goals. This makes expectations firm and emphasizes that improvement is essential. Our fifth type is the drama magnet. This employee often finds themselves at the center of conflicts, spreads gossip, or brings personal issues into the workplace. They may struggle to separate their personal life from their professional role, creating tension among the team. Drama magnets may thrive on attention or feel validated by involving others in personal conflicts. They might struggle with boundaries or have a strong need to feel connected, which they express through drama or gossip. So how can you deal with this type? First, try to have a private conversation with them. Address the behavior directly but sensitively. Start with an observation that emphasizes your desire to maintain a positive team environment. For example, you can say, I've noticed there have been some conflicts recently, and I want to ensure that we're keeping our focus on a supportive work environment. Next, clarify that while personal connections are natural at work, it's essential to keep interactions professional. You might add, I understand that we all go through things outside of work, but let's focus on keeping things positive and work-centered. If you need support, I'm here to help. Provide them with clear examples of professional behavior, like sharing positive updates or offering help to colleagues, and encouraging these actions. For example, you could say something like, I'd love to see more teamwork-focused discussions, like sharing tips or offering help to others. If their behavior persists, involve HR to set formal guidelines for professional conduct, making it clear that continued disruption could result in further action. reinforce the expectation of a positive work environment, and ensure the employee understands the seriousness of this issue. Right, so before I reveal the most disruptive of them all, if you're curious about your level of leadership communication, take my free assessment to find out how you scored when it comes to empathy building, ability to give and take feedback, manage conflict, and other key leadership communication skills. Click on the link in the description below and go through this free assessment and find out your results when it comes to leadership communication. Now, our most disruptive employee is the toxic high performer. This employee consistently delivers exceptional results, but exhibits toxic behaviors, such as undermining colleagues, disregarding team efforts, or acting with an inflated sense of entitlement. Their actions may lead to tension and a negative team atmosphere, even though their performance metrics are strong, which is the main reason some leaders find it difficult to alter their behavior or, in the worst case, fire them altogether. Toxic high performers often feel indispensable due to their exceptional results. This can lead them to believe they're above team standards, or that their performance grants them leniency. They may lack empathy for colleagues and see others as obstacles rather than teammates. And this behavior creates a divisive team dynamic. They also tend to manipulate and lie their way to get what they want. So what do you need to do to handle a toxic high performer? Well, first of all, acknowledge their contribution, but clarify that behavior standards apply to everyone, regardless of performance. For instance, say something like this: your results are outstanding and the team benefits from your skills. At the same time, it's important to maintain a positive environment for everyone. Let's discuss how we can achieve both. Give specific examples of the behaviors that need to change, such as a dismissive tone in meetings or undermining colleagues' work. Make it clear that high performance doesn't replace the need for professionalism and teamwork. Reiterate that a positive team dynamic is part of the company's expectations, saying we want to maintain a respectful and collaborative environment for everyone, including you. If they continue to show toxic behaviors, take a firmer stance. Arrange a meeting to discuss how their actions are impacting the team and outline that their behavior improvements are essential to their role. Consider implementing a behavioral improvement plan, similar to a performance improvement plan, where specific behavior goals are set and check-ins are scheduled. Explain that their behavior, despite their high performance, has consequences if it continues to affect team morale and productivity. Emphasize that to remain a valued team member, they need to align with both performance and behavior expectations, and that there's no place for them in the team if they continue on the same behavior and not improve. By understanding these behaviors and using these layered approaches, you'll be able to manage tough situations while helping your team grow. Make sure to check out my next video where I talk about my top tips for new managers. I hope you'll find it useful. Take care for now and lead with confidence and empathy.